So,
Hey everybody, we're coming to you live, well not live, we're coming to you recorded during a thunderstorm.
yeah.
How's everybody doing out there in the quarantine land?
I'm good.
Be vibing though?
I just,
Really be vibing though? I'm Matt,
I'm Eliana.
and we're here for episode 2 of Quarantined with Comics. How do you like my Flatwoods Monster sweatshirt?
I don't think.
It's lightning.
It's
really
lightning.
big.
It's really, obvious.
There's a lot of lightning happening.
I'm not a
Anyway,
big fan of lightning.
back to my Flatwoods Monster sweatshirt. I got this down at the Flatwoods Monster Museum. So I love all sorts of cryptozoology creatures from far and wide, but especially the West Virginian cryptozoology creatures like Mothman and the Flatwoods Monster.
Oh,
Maybe we'll do a show at some point about
investigating.
And we'll do some research, we'll do some investigating, and we'll feature some of our favorite cryptozoology artists. So we'll do that. More on that to come. Okay. It's pretty stormy out there, but we're going to forge on. We're here. So the show, during the show, we spend our mornings on Saturdays reading various comic books, and then we put this show together for you. So we can share our reviews of the comic books that we read. Woo! We might lose electricity.
Oh shoot! Did I get cancer?
That's all right. We're all right. Okay. So. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go first. So anyway, the first book is Storytellers, Jim Henson's Storytellers series, Tale 1 of 4 of the Witches series. So this book is beautiful. It's very well done. It's made of cardstock. The artwork is very nice. The lettering is very nice. And it's not your typical comic book. It's not set up in like block form. It's more free style, free form. I'll show you what it looks like. This is one of my favorite pages, or favorite 2 pages. You can see it's very interesting. It's very well done. And it's unusual, which I love those types of comic books. Anyway, so what happens in this story is, long ago there's a land that doesn't have a king and a queen in it yet. And it's not being governed. How do you say that? Governed, thank you. And so the people just live happily, like at the bottom of a mountain near a wood. And one night a hunter sees a woman casting a spell. And so the townspeople turn on her and they chase her into the woods and try to kill her because they say that she's a witch. Then many, many, many years later, a king and a queen come and they take over the land, and they have a son and a daughter. So there's a tree, the tallest tree in the middle of the woods, that is protected by the Lord of the Woods, who is this character here. And the king decides that he wants that tree for himself, and so he cuts down the tallest tree, and he makes a crown out of the tree for his son, who will one day be crowned king. So the Lord of the Wood puts a curse on the tree and the crown, and whoever the man who wears the crown to become king will be cursed and will die. So this is a story about the daughter, the princess, who has spent her childhood in the woods and who loves the woods, protecting her brother, the would-be king, from the curse that the Lord of the Wood put on the crown. So the witch comes into play. The Lord of the Woods is all throughout this, and it's a tale of the princess who loves the woods and understands the heartache that the king caused by cutting down the tallest tree. She ends up saving her brother and the wood and the witch, and it's just a really interesting tale. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna let Eliana do hers now.
Okay, so this one is called Betty and Me. It is the comic book 103, and you don't really have to like read them in order. Just pick up them and then they're short stories. And in the short stories, sometimes they have like activities you can do, or they have these these other mini short stories within these short stories, and I think it's really cool. And I really like that in this one story are that Archie is trapped in this cage, and Betty has to save him, and it's like in this like different planet. And I think that's really cool because I've always been interested in that. Also, I think just like I really like them because they just always make me laugh and they just make me feel like really good. Just because they're just really fun and they're made for like all ages. Like don't be ashamed if you like these. And I just think overall this is a really great comic, and I definitely recommend reading this.
Cool. Classic. That's a classic comic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my second comic is Grant Morrison's 18 Days. So, this is a really cool series that Grant Morrison has done. That is really the tale of the battle from the Bhagavad Gita, between the two warring sides of the family, and it's about Arjuna and Krishna and all of the characters from the Bhagavad Gita. This particular, the very first comic book, this is number 1 in the series, starts out telling the story of creation and the story of Brahma and the cycles of the universe with spring and summer and fall and winter, and talks about the different ages that occur, and has a little section of about Rama. Check that out. That's pretty cool. But ultimately, the series is about the battle, the great battle. So this battle takes place in near the end of the autumn cycle of the creation of the universe before we plunge into the winter, which is what we're supposed to be in right now, with greed and the all the terrible things that are happening, and man like turning towards money as opposed to just enjoying each other and the world around them and all that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting comic book, especially right now. But one cool thing about it that I really like is the art. I love the artwork, and I love that they take these traditional Hindu characters from this classic story, this spiritual story, and they sort of create this world that's almost futuristic. I mean, you have all kinds of characters and machines, and just the way people are drawn, and it's almost, I mean, they're like people who have different powers and who can float. It's just really cool the way it's done. And I think Grant Morrison did a really good job on this series. I read through it once before, and I'm going to reread it, and I'll do some of the other episodes later. But in the very first episode, what's happening is an explanation of the creation of the universe, where the story takes place in that process, and we see the very beginning of the great battle that's about to take place. That it's told from the Bhagavad Gita. So I'll keep you posted as to what's happening in that one. Okay.
This next comic is also Archie related, and it is number 90. I don't know how many there's like thousands of Archie comics. But this also has like really fun activities you can do, and um, like they have about like 3 short stories I think per book comic. And I think and then I just really like it. I love these ones. I have a lot, but this one of the stories is about how Archie tries to buy the principal like this really cool clock, thinking, oh, it's like it's an anniversary, like you should probably get something nice. And the principal just isn't really pleased on the clock because it just doesn't. It's not his fault. Like he likes, he has a clock and stuff, but like it's so obnoxiously loud and it rings constantly. And so he tries to get rid of it, and at the end of the day, like he tries to figure out like this plan for getting the clock away from him, and it works. And I just really love it because like you just like Archie is such like a nice person and like helps people a lot. And so I just really like that about Archie just in general. And then also I just like all these comics because they just brighten up my day. It's fun.
Awesome. Okay. How many more do you have, Eliana? 2 more? Okay. I have 3 more. I'm going to do one more review, and after that, we're going to have a special guest. So exciting, the special guest. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is, this is Conan, Serpent War, number 1. I don't know if you can see that. So, I love the idea of this comic. Essentially what's happening is you have 2 different gods who are sort of warring against each other outside of time and space. And the serpent god has really taken a hold on things, and so what happens is the other god involved is subconsciously gathering these warriors to fight the serpent god and all of his followers throughout time. So some of the characters are, of course, Conan, who I have loved since I was little. And then there is Moon Knight, who I also love, love, love. I love the idea of his character. There's Solomon Kane, who has been very mysterious to me for a long time. I love this character as well. And then there's another character, Dark Agnes, who I don't really know anything about. So the idea is that the different characters that come together to battle the followers of the serpent god are all they're in different times, they're in different places, but they are all brought together. At first they're fighting in their own time and their own place, but at some point they're all brought together for this giant battle. It's a little clunky, the way it's written. It's kind of confusing at different points as to like what's going on, where they're at, who's talking, who's, what's going on. But bringing these characters together is really interesting to me. I love the idea of an Egyptian god, like in every time period having someone who represents him, who he embodies, that fights for him. So Moon Knight, I love that character. And then Solomon Kane, I got to show you guys this. When I was little, I collected these giant Savage Sword of Conan comics. So when I was little, I should say when I was in like junior high, so like 7th, 8th, 9th grade. And I remember having this was I had this back then, this comic. I think it was 8th grade. And in the front of it is Conan, and then in the back is a comic called Solomon Kane's Homecoming. And it was the first time that I ever saw Solomon Kane in a comic book. And it blew me away. It was so mysterious. And it talked about all of his travels and all of the creatures and various demons that he came in contact with, that he had to battle. And I just thought it was so incredible, the story and the different mysterious things that he saw throughout his travels. Look at this. This is him fighting winged demons. So it involves all kinds of stuff that I love, like demons and fighting evil and all that sort of stuff. So when I saw Solomon Kane come up in this, I had to get a copy and read the series and see what it's all about. It's not bad. It's okay. It's clunky, but I love the characters, and just to see those characters together is entertaining to me. So, all right, Eliana, you're up.
Alright. So this is number 3 out of 4 comic books that I'm showing you, and it is number 2.
Oh wait, before you do that, I want you to have 2 left after the guest, because I'll have 2 left after the guest. So, why don't we bring on our special guest that will do a review of a comic that she read today. Eliana, do you want to introduce our special guest?
Okay. So, this is my sister. And, we don't really get along that well. I'm just kidding. But, her name's Abigail.
Hi guys. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing a review on Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And so there's this 9-year-old girl, and she's bullied because she's different than everybody else, and she's a lot smarter. And so she has this dinosaur, and she hides this part. And then there's an explosion in her classroom, and they're stuck in the building. And so she takes her dinosaur, and the kids slide down, and they get saved. And then the Hulk comes in and takes away the dinosaur.
Wait, her dinosaur?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
He takes away her dinosaur because it's dangerous, and she's a 9-year-old girl, and so she's really sad about that. And the dinosaur and the Hulk get in a fight, and then that's what happens.
Cool. Abigail, wait, before you go,
Yes.
let's talk a couple seconds. You're our special guest today,
Oh, okay.
this week. Could you show everybody your sweatshirt?
Oh yeah, I got a Star Labs sweatshirt. Yeah.
Yeah, Star Labs. Can you tell the audience a little bit about Star Labs?
Well, that is the laboratory that the Flash works at. Him
Yes.
and Harrison Wells.
Mm-hmm. Harrison Wells, yeah.
Iris, and that's where they get their plans together on how they fight their criminal.
It's beautiful. So, Abigail,
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm Abigail. I am the sister of this one and the daughter of this one. I live in this house.
She's my older sister, and I love her.
Yes.
So she's quarantined with us.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm doing
It's really
good.
difficult.
I like running. I do cross country and track. Sorry, lightning.
There's lightning out there. Lots of it.
And I'm a middle child. Yes.
Okay, well, thanks for stopping by on Quarantined with Comics. Here you go.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right, we'll get back to the show now. Can you scoot over, Eliana?
Alright, so it's my turn?
Yes, it is
So,
your
this
turn.
is number 3 out of 4 comics that I am going to review. It's called Ms. Marvel, and I love how, I don't know, I just love her. I just, get a good vibe with her character in general. And Ms. Marvel, if you haven't watched our last video, is a teenage girl who has to fight, like criminals and like bad guys, monsters in her city, while also being a girl who has to go to school and has to like it's like the double life. And I think it's hard to do, and I can't imagine that. But
Life is hard. Life
yeah,
is hard.
life is hard. So it's number 2 of series, and pretty much what happened is that she finds this weird substance in her fridge, like in a mini fridge, and so she goes to her friend and like to try to figure out what this substance is. And
Wait, can I interrupt you? This sounds like our life. Like, how many times have we found weird substances in our fridge? And we had to go to Abigail, who was our special guest, to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, so later they discover that it was like something used to control people, and so in this like little part of the city, these people were obviously not acting like normal, and so they couldn't figure out what it was because like their eyes were like red or purple, and I thought that was like bizarre. And I'm like, what the heck? Like what the heck? And so cause she's just like walking with her brother and stuff, and then she sees it and they just turn back around. But I think that this is a really good series. I definitely recommend this series because I think that like he just like I think like it's just like with me when I'm reading it, I think it's amazing, and like I love her. She's like just amazing, and I don't know, sometimes words just can't describe how good a comic book is.
All right. Very good. Okay. My next one is Dark Horse Comics Hidden Society, number 1. If you guys, yikes. Those of you who know me know that I love aliens, I love ghosts, I love paranormal stuff, cryptozoology. I also love psychic stuff, mediumship, like all of that sort of thing. I also love like hidden societies or secret societies. I love to hear about them and learn about them, things like that. It's all very interesting to me. So when I saw Hidden Society, this comic book, I thought I have to check out what this is all about. So the first issue in this series pretty much just brings the characters together of this hidden society. There is something happening in the universe that will cause all kinds of problems, potentially destroying the universe. And so there is a wizard, Yulu, I think is his name, and he has been part of this hidden society forever. And it's a society of wizards that have dedicated their lives to protecting the universe from evil. And so something's happening, something big is happening. And so this wizard has to get this team of characters together to help fight the coming evil. And so the first the first character that we see is a character named Mercy. And she is a bounty hunter who carries a book. And in the book are written names of people that she needs to take, people that she will meet and take their soul. So for some reason she's collecting souls from people. She's a bounty hunter that collects souls. So that's the first character that we see that will eventually end up on this team that this wizard is putting together. The next character that we see is a character named Alara, and she's blind, and she has a dog named Ozzy that helps her. But she also has this like golden medallion, and it is what it does is brings a demon to her, So she also has a demon, a cigar-smoking demon, who she can call using this medallion. His name is Orcus, and she is his master. So she hangs out with a dog and a demon named Orcus, and she does magic herself. So she's the second character. They're the second round of characters that this wizard pulls together. And then the final character that he gets is named, I believe his name is Jadoo, and he is Indian. He's a young boy who is a magician, and he is getting ready to use smoke and mirrors to make the Brooklyn Bridge disappear. And the wizard comes to him in a mirror and gives him these magic words, and he accidentally makes the Brooklyn Bridge disappear for real. And so he's pulled into this story, and so he gets all these people together, and we're not sure why yet. So hopefully in the next coming comics we'll figure out what exactly is going on. So that is just a little bit about Hidden Society. It's a good one. It's about stuff that I love, so yeah, it's cool. I love it. Okay.
This is the final comic that I am going to review. It's called Arania, and it is about a teenager, and just like Miss Marvel, she also lives a double life. Just fighting bad guys and also doing school and having care for family. I love this. I love her. In this, she finds out that a boy that she fought earlier, like last night, or the night before, goes to her school, and it was a transfer student because he is from Egypt, and he's like his family is on like a business, he had to do something for like a business or something, and it's like really like she's like, oh shoot, I don't know what to do because this the guy that I fight him, and he's in a class, and it's like living a double life, you just can't tell anyone about it or anything. You have to act like it's completely normal, just another kid. But I really love this. I love this book a lot. I mean, comic book, but I like how she tries even though she's a superhero, she has to make the best out of the situation that she's put in.
Cool. Those look awesome. That character looks really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more to review. It's another Dark Horse comic, and it's called Strayed. This cover is awesome. That is Lou on the cover. Lou. Oh yes, you can ask me questions. Who's Lou? Lou is a astral projecting cat. So he has the ability to travel with his mind throughout the entire universe.
I used to have dreams about the cat who can do that, and I love this. It's adorable.
It is adorable. So he is owned by this scientist, or he lives with a scientist, I should say. And her name is Kiera, and she has developed a way to communicate with Lou. He wears a collar, so he can speak, mentally, and she can hear him speaking. So they can communicate with each other. So what happens is, the government, of course, they take them both, and they're living in this secret bunker, and they are using his powers to travel throughout the universe looking for worlds to conquer and steal resources from. And so they are unwilling participants in this project that the government has going on. And so he's traveling throughout different worlds, and he sees all sorts of different worlds. Check out this artwork. There he goes. He's traveling around.
That's cool.
And it's really cool. I love this comic book. So he is seeing all of these creatures and all of these different worlds, and he's reporting back. And when he finds a world that our government thinks that they could use and take advantage of, they're going and colonizing that world and enslaving the people of the world. But they don't know that that is what's happening. They're just reporting back the types of worlds that they find, and the types of beings that live on those worlds. But it's awesome. I love the idea. I love the idea of astral projection. I love the idea of, look at that. That is awesome. This is an awesome comic book. It's by far one of my favorites. I read the series once. There's like 4 or 5, I can't remember. I loved it all the way. The end, I don't want to talk about, but I want to reread the entire thing because the end left me like kind of up in the air. So, for this comic book, you pretty much are getting an introduction to the characters, what the mission is about, and by the end of it, they realize what's happening, what they're being used for. So in the coming books, which I'll do, maybe I'll do each, like in the coming weeks, I'll do the next one in this series because it's so cool. And then in the coming books, you start to see this friction between Lou and Kiera and the government that is using them. It starts to get more intense and build, and they start doing more terrible things to more creatures. And then we see mental contact between Lou and a like higher spiritual being, and it just gets very interesting. But so that's my, I don't know if you would say pick of the week, but that's one of my favorites. So if you get a chance, pick up this comic book and check it out. Okay, you're done with your reviews, right? And I'm done with my reviews. So we had something else that we wanted to share. We are sharing our favorite or our favorite covers of the week. So we're not going to do a review of these comics. We just wanted to show you the comics that we have in our collections. We wanted to show you the ones that we really love the covers of. So what's your cover of the week, Eliana?
It's this one. It is called Shuri.
Show it like real close. Go up there and zoom in and tilt it so that the light's not getting it.
Okay. It's called Shuri. I love the cover. Like, I love the colors. I love, I just love how she looks like she just looks like she's ready to take on whatever comes through her. I don't know what is gonna happen. I don't know what happens in this, but I think it is so cool. Like, it just looks amazing.
It does look amazing. I love it.
The drawing is like, it's amazing.
The art it's really good.
Yeah.
That looks like a good series. You should. So this is Black Panther's sister, I think.
Mhm.
So we should check that out and read it and do a review on it. But the cover is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's very powerful. She looks very powerful.
Yeah. That does.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, my cover of the week is a classic. I started collecting comic books when I was young, and then I stopped for a while, and then I started up again. But this is from one of my old collections. My pick of the week for cover is a Ghost Rider. This is Ghost Rider number 15. This is 1991. I do believe our light is kind of giving us trouble. The cool thing about this cover is it glows in the dark. It's awesome. Eliana and I tried it to see if it still would glow in the dark after all these years, and we took it into the bathroom the other night, and it works. We turned off the light, and the only thing left was the flames and the eyes of the Ghost Rider. So that's my cover of the week, pick of the week, just because it's cool. You know, glow-in-the-dark covers. You don't see them a lot. So that's it. So that's Quarantined with Comics this week. Do you have anything else you want to talk about or anything you want to add?
No.
How's it going out there? How's everybody doing? There's a lot of live music happening. There's a lot of
Live shows.
all kinds of shows.
Yep.
A lot of like arts and craft shows happening.
Yeah, I started doing painting.
Painting, yeah. Eliana's painting.
Cleaning.
Yes, we're cleaning some. What else? You're doing school from home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working from
I've
home.
been doing school from home for like 4 or 5 months now.
So, if anybody else wants to put in the comments what they've been up to, or any ideas for us for the show, any comic book ideas, or anything like that, please let us know. You want to see Wonky? I'll show you a Wonky. Oops. There's Wonkadoodle, or kitty cat.
Yeah, my mom named her Wonkadoodle.
Yes. That's a great name. Okay. Well, that's it for us. Have a good Saturday. Have a nice weekend. Everybody stay home and stay safe. Peace.